Hey guys, so welcome back to part 2 of my video. So this time this is going to be part 2 of my Beyonce experience. So this time this is going to be the origins of Cowboy Carter, the theory, and the connection to the larger scope of the Echoville multiverse. Now, as you guys know, as I mentioned in my first video, Beyonce has officially closed out the Cowboy Carter tour, and that this tour became the biggest tour for country touring ever. It sold nearly 407 million, and it is the biggest for a country artist. Now, what Beyonce has done for this album, as well as the history lesson that this album has taught us. Similar to Cowboy Carter, we saw that the stage itself was like his banjo for Renaissance, and then this one was more of a guitar indicating rock. Now, there's another thing that people did not see, which is the golden figures that is depicting the different eras of this album, indicating those are considered her golden memories of the entire Cowboy Carter tour. Now, this tour was not only a spectacle of what Beyonce represents as an artist, but she is looking in the future. She's looking for longevity, and that if Renaissance, like I mentioned in the first video, was a deliberation of futurism and music, and it's an abduction of the music industry, the past is to ground us and to push forward and to become the pushing force of what makes the album a phenomenon. Not only that, she paid homage to a lot of legends in this tour, and there's this one word, this one sentence that Beyonce has been referencing throughout this tour, and Tina Turner, which is considered one of the greatest rock vocalists of her time, and also Beyonce's person that she admires the most. Also, she brought out a lot of big heavy hitters for the final leg of the Beyonce Cowboy Carter tour, which ended in Vegas. Now, spoiler alert, she brought out the DC girls, and they looked it amazing. Now, here's another thing a lot of people didn't realize. One, Beyonce brought out the DC girls, but I don't think this is going to be the last time she's going to bring them out. There's a particular picture when Beyonce visited those girls during the Renaissance phase of the tour, and she had all of them taking pictures, all of the 5 DC girls, but for some reason Kelly and Michelle had the piece indicating Act 2, whereas Latoya and Latara had the rocking symbol hand gesture, indicating that we might see them in the third act in some capacity. Now, what's cool about this whole horse theory is that there's another horse that people hasn't been talking about. There has been 2 horses for this act. For one, there's Sir Davis, which is the bronze statue, golden memory type of horse, and it's also the brand of her whiskey. And then you have Chardonnay, which is the Americana history bending horse, which is the emblem for Cowboy Carter. Now, looking at the stage and looking at what the stage represents, it's almost indicating the past and future. So in a way, you have Cowboy Carter and Renaissance, or in a weird way, both are looking in a different direction, but also they are like somewhat connected. And here's even more crazy backstory of this whole trilogy, Echoville. So we saw a robot, and assuming Cowboy Carter, the character, almost as if they're about to touch hand. This is a very interesting picture depicting almost like this Michelangelo painting of Jesus touching Adam. And then we also saw the propaganda of the entire tour, and then this is this like exclusive asylum. So this tour has also referenced the future, which was the Renaissance. It almost ensembles that the entire compass of, there's a part in the tour indicating the America has an issue, indicating like who and what is Cowboy Carter, and the theory of the Ecoville film that centers around each of these segments of these characters, right? So in a weird way, we can see that the life of Cowboy Carter is some sort of a into the town where she became more rampage, symbolizing that she almost has like the racial identity, which are basically outside of her race, and that is the reclaimment of getting that. And then in the future, we could see that the Chrome Horse as well as Chardonnay is like before and after the abduction, but they both became Chrome. So the Sir Davis horse as well as the Chardonnay horse are one of the same, indicating that there were two horses that were mentioned. One of them is a brand, which is a just like her cosmetic, she did a brand and then she did a horse. So there's two horses for each of the albums. That's what I've been kind of depicting. It seems as if there's two horses for each album. So in a way, the multiverse of the Ecoville mirrors each other. I think Act 1 and Act 2 are probably the only one that will mirror each other. And I think moving forward, and even from the stage, Act 1 was the banjo, but it reflects back into Cowboy Carter. So almost like this abduction symbol, it reflects onto the ground. Almost like when the abduction happened, there's like crop circles and like mysterious symbols that appears. So in a possibility, Beyonce is finding her intervariant, almost as if she is doing this Jordan Peele like thing in the visuals, where she's playing different roles but all interconnected. There's also a scene into All Up in Your Mind, where during the Jolene Peep Show, where this song called Lightning Girl by one of the Sinatra children playing in the background while she is almost indicating this revolutionary thing. And as well the Fall in Love, which is I think the Cowboy Carter character, which has similar roots, but when it comes to finding her way for love, she is like the alien out of the species. So there's different species of characters or aliens, as well as who is Cowboy Carter. She is a female character with masculine traits, but at the same time she is a main character in the Cowboy Carter film, as well as the ancestral angels or the alien cowboys that were appearing each night before the show starts. They kick off American Requiem, as well as the history of what will come after Cowboy Carter. And if we look at even the book that she released, there's a specific character that it looks more rock, as well as the denim. I think these characters are connected into the larger interconnected world that will be more focused on the Black Betty tour. So these were the 42 characters that represents and connects to future and past presence, as well as the interconnection between the Lady Gaga character that she played and Telephone, which kind of intermirrors with future presence. So in a way, it seems as if she's been building this thing into a more bigger interconnection field. So the Black Betty tour, which will be the name of the next tour, almost as if she predicts what it's going to be, almost as if she knows that something is coming after Cowboy Carter immediately, and that the kickoff of this celebration might start in August 13 or the 4th, from what she is predicting. But as you guys know, this has been the most interesting tour because it's a history lesson, and as well as the different ensembles that makes up this interconnect world. with the Prince gun, as well as sitting on different elements of rock. Like the bull does not belong in Cowboy Carter. It belongs in the third act. I would not be surprised that Tyrant would be in a more comfortable setting, especially closing out the third act. When she closed out with Amen for the final night in Vegas, she explained that same word that I've been stuck with: never fight or never argue for what already belongs to you, indicating that everything that she has been doing is intentional and that it has always belonged to her. It's just a weird way of reclaiming these different spaces. Furthermore, the shredding of the American flag, or the rotting version of the flag, indicating that this is like this Armageddon type of feeling, and that when she did the commercial for the Beyonce Bowl, she is depicting these three acts with the three different colors, as well as the banjo in the hand, the glitter corset representing the Renaissance, as well as formation and some weird capacity. And the shawl is definitely a rock and roll thing. Stevie Nicks is someone that constantly wears shawls in some of her performances, so I would not be surprised she is emulating that part of effect. But like I said, Echoes of America, we are celebrating what has been and what will continue to be. We will continue to celebrate the diversity of this album and for future generation. Act 3 will be something that I think accomplished the two other acts, but it will be something completely different from, it's a different approach from anything else we're gonna be seeing. But as we guys close out, this is Amen for now, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, make sure to know we are the visuals, we are the spectators to this great trilogy. Echoville is a multiverse, and it's not done yet. See you guys for part 3 as we close out on this illustrious Act 2, and I can't wait for what Act 3 is going to be. Bye bye.